Hello and welcome back to another Factorio Fixit. My name's Negative Root and let's get cracking today. We're playing a factory by Eshen. 23.5 hours. Let's see what's up. Now, this factory looks like it takes up a decent amount of room. There's something here's a lot of solar power. Main factory, some train lines. Let's go and explore, shall we? So we got some good build by the looks at 1.3k and steam engines coming online. That's interesting. Productivity modules being researched. I don't think there's anything really down there that we need to be having a look at. So we'll head back up north into the factory proper and see what's happening up here. Bit of a logistics spots factory build there. Steel and passive providers. Okay, suppose that's one way of doing things. Wonder what that's requesting. Niente. Okay. So that's all steel production there. Looks like a pretty well organised main bus. Except for two things. Number one, number two. Well, this would be number one. That would be number two. Well, actually, this might be number two. Because copper cable on a belt. Uh-oh. That is... it's just not good. Let's put it that way. And see here, there's an extreme copper shortage. What else? What actually is causing that? There's lots of logistics bots running around with copper in its hands, so... seems like there is an extreme copper shortage at this point in time. Okay, and it's all being whisked away to somewhere else. Where's this little bugger going? We must find... okay, here we go. Now we're getting somewhere. Right. So this here is... I don't know what it is. If it's an attempt at a smart factory, it's not correct. If it is what it's supposed to be, it's a little bit odd. Because by throwing iron and copper into the same box, all that will happen is the inserter takes whatever's here. Takes whatever's in this first slot until it's empty, and then it'll take the next slot, and then when it's empty it'll take the next slot. So it is never ever EVH ever going to take that copper while ever there's iron in between it. So yeah, interesting move there. Interesting move. And all these active providers are again an interesting move, not one I would do myself. Let's continue to have a look around, see what's happening, see what's up. Looks like a pretty good factory all in all. Apart from that, yeah, the interesting logistics bots can set up. And oh, okay. Well, this would be eating so much resources right now. This is, how to say it? Well, it's bad. Because right now that is eating so much resources. Same with this. Okay? Anything... you don't really want to do red circuits this way either. Because they're... all of those things are pretty high volume items. You want to keep them on belts where possible. By trying to do it with a logistics spot, yeah, sure, the throughput is theoretically infinite. However, you know, in reality, it's not really. You can see here, this is trying to request it in, and very hacked together. This poor little base. What we'll do is just delete that. Um, hmm. Now it begs the question, how do we fix it? That is the question. Now, as a point of interest, I see this a lot. It's becoming a recurring theme, and I don't know why. I don't know why people don't see this way of doing things. Okay, instead of going up and around and over, why don't we just do the same thing, except in the other option? This has got fewer turns, which means you're going to have less slowdown on the belt. It's a good thing. Now, what we have throughout this entire factory is a chronic shortage. What's that doing? Okay. There's a chronic shortage of... Where's that getting its iron plate from? Yeah. I don't know where this is getting iron plate from. Rightio, moving right along. Yeah, we have a chronic shortage of copper that we really need to solve somehow. Now, how we do that is interesting, shall we say. The bus system here is convoluted, shall we say. To put it... How to put it? It seems like these active... It seems like the build is nearly there, but not quite. Nearly there, but not quite, I think is the best way of putting it. Now, what I'll do is I'll see if we can solve this copper shortage. So, here we go. Seeing as this setup has been already built for us, we can just double it across. Bob's your uncle, Freddy's your aunt. Now, something to be mindful of is that you're only going to be good as your input here. So however many copper ore, that's what I'm looking for. However much copper ore is coming in is going to be our limiting factor. So I think we've got a little bit coming in. We've got some train stations up here. See the, yep, they're going in, that's good. So we've got 26k copper in storage that we can potentially use. Now I wonder why there is solid fuel in those chests. I wonder. And see here we've completely destroyed the logistics bots. It's sitting at 0. That's, yeah, interesting. We might come for a tour if we've got time. Now, I want to come down here and straighten up this iron build as well. I'm hoping this isn't something that I did. Well, that's interesting. Check that out for a glitch. For some reason it's sending it all to this box even though it's full. And this box is full, and this box is full. And they're all full. That is not good. That is not good. We'll just have to do what any self-respecting Factorio nerd... What would be the plural there? Or the noun for a Factorio player? I wonder. Yeah. So, what we'll do in here, right, is just remove the condition for copper. We'll just leave it as iron only. So right now I'm just running along. I've shift right clicked on that first one that I set up, and you see how the filter here on the right hand side, see when I click it, that copper goes away and it just becomes iron only. Now we're going to have this stray copper sitting around, which is not ideal, but it is what it is. We'll just have to work with it. Is this an attempt at a smart furnace? I don't know. Jury's out there. Whatever it is, it's not ideal. Okay. What the passive providers will do is it'll just lift a bit of strain off the logistics bots. Because right now they're running around trying to get everything into storage, and that's just no good. Because there's not. Firstly, I don't think there's enough storage. Number one. Number two, it can sit in a passive provider until it's needed. There's no reason to rip it out of here, and that's what the active providers do. It pushes the material into storage rather than just holding it in the box until required. And I prefer using passive providers because it prevents that double handling of materials. Because with an active provider, first the logistics bot has to take it to a central storage location, and then from that central storage location we'll move it out to wherever it's needed. So there's two trips there, which effectively means that you need twice as many bots. It's my belief that by using a passive provider you can just leave it in storage until it's required, and then from there the logistics bot comes and picks it up, takes it to where it's needed, one trip, done, finished, kaput. And I think that is preferable to the the active provider system where it's pushing it actively into storage. So let's see if that. I mean, see that has really changed things a lot. You can see that this has changed things. It seems like we're working a lot better now. So let's go up here and replace these as well. Oh wow. Because again, it can sit in storage. There's nothing wrong with it sitting in storage until it's ready to go. Now, what we're going to need, I can see that I'm gathering up active providers pretty quickly. That's a bit of a bummer. I'm going to have to figure out something to do with them. Or work out what I'm going to do to utilise them. There's really very few of my builds actually take advantage of them. Even my smart furnace the build that I do nowadays, I don't do it that way. Simply because it. Oh shit. Oh shit, I started something there. There's got to be some active providers still around somewhere. Whoops. Look for them. Aha, found them. Okay. So I think that will have really changed the paradigm now for us. I think that all things being well, we've created a situation where hopefully our copper is flowing a lot smoothly, more smoothly. Okay, here's an example where 1,000 is too many. It needs, 200 maybe. It needs enough so that if you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you need enough so that if the logistics bots are delayed, then they have time to come and basically make up for it. They have time to go get what they need and bring it to you. And that's really what you're aiming for with having a filter set on a requester chest. It's just so that the logistics bots have time to go get it. So it doesn't. You don't want to have tons and tons and tons, because that's not really useful at all, because it's just sitting around. It's not actually available for anything else when it's doing that. Now, do is power these bad boys up. Go around that. Power these bad boys up. So I'll just copy and paste this, okay? This is going to be pretty ugly for a moment here. But you can see that I've got 14k. Oops, that's a red one. Go the other way. Go the other way. I've got, yeah, 14k in storage currently. So we need to get that onto the line. Okay. See now that we're achieving compression on the line, so that's happy days. This really needs to be upgraded if that's going to be a major input. Yep, happy days again. Right, there we go. And see that the copper is flowing smoothly now. Now the spaghetti doesn't help matters in a factory like this, because it just slows things down. And I talk about it regularly, about the loss and compression and the associated slowdown. It is a lot, and when you build a factory that doesn't have that massive slowdown, you'd be surprised on how fast it will actually run. And see here, it's not quite buffering up. It's not quite fast enough. So we need to get more onto the line. Now because we've got, well, it looks like we're net positive here. So what we can do, right, is we can just really cheat. And I love cheating. I really do. Cheating is the way to do things. So there we go. What you can do is when you find your line is struggling, and if you've got a lot of materials in the logistics network, and that's kind of how this is set up to work now with these smart furnaces, or this logistic furnace, I think we'd call that. We can set up these like late injection points, where it's just there to try and achieve a little bit more compression on the line, and it's not really a huge drain on the resources. It's just more trying to level everything out on the line. So you can see now, yep, we're starting to get somewhere with the compression. So that's happy days. And see now we've actually buffered up here. So that's really, really good, the fact that we've managed to buffer up the line all the way back to here now. So that's excellent. Let's keep working through the factory, see if we've got this copper issue solved. It goes to show that if you're... that doesn't need to be there anymore. If you're trying to hack the solution together using logistics bots, you're really barking up the wrong tree. If you build it properly and do it properly like this, you won't have the issues that will arise if you just try and hack it together. You can see here that there's possibly a better green circuit build that we're going to need. And you can see here that copper cable just isn't penetrating far enough down the line. So here's what we could do. I think this might be the last thing we fix for this factory. Here's what we could do. Okay, we could whoops, I had 50 of these on my person. That is unfortunate. Anyway, let us see if we can ramp this build up to an 11 on a scale of 1 to 10. So we got our what we want. We'll get these. Okay, we're going 2 to a block, so that's fine. Let's just get this. Right, while that's building, just come here, just extend the speed a little bit so that we get all the way through. Now the trick is to get as many on the line as we can. That's the trick. So we'll see how many we can get. One there, one there. Okay, let's just get rid of that for a moment. That's all connected still, excellent. Now, again we're going 2 to a line, so we'll go 2, 2 and 2. Okay, now let's see what kind of... Okay, so this is too many for this little line here. So what we need to do is probably split it about here-ish. We'll just pick this up for a moment. Stop that there. Okay. Now, if 3 gets us compression, actually I have a better way of doing this build. Let us, okay, lettuce, great stuff. Right, so let's have a better way of doing this. And you should always try and look for a better way of doing things where you can. Because a better way is just going to make your job easier. 2, 1, 2, and 1 and 2. Now, unfortunately, this logistics roboport is in the damn way, so we'll move that. Because that wasn't doing anything important. And if it was, I'll find it later. Okay, there we go. I'll stop that there. This can go this way. There we go. Get us some inputs 1, 2, 1, 2, and 1, 2. Power lines. Thunderbirds, I go. So you can see that we're not quite achieving a compression here. So let's try with one more factory. Thank you. Right, unfortunately everything will have to move over by 1. It's a bit of a bugger. But, you know, when you're building like this on the fly and you have no plan, yeah, it could happen. In fact, it probably will happen. Get used to it. Go. So copy, paste, copy, paste. That can go away. Right, let's get some inserters happening. Oops, couldn't quite reach there. Rightio. Oh. Power issues, really? There you go. They'll be over shortly. Hopefully. So something of interest is that we have a lot of power currently invested in our electric furnaces. So we may have to have a look at that. Okay, so we can see that we've got full compression on the line. And see that we've actually managed to tip it over the other side. So that by adding enough copper cable here, we've just managed to punch it all the way through, and then it becomes a kind of a self-reinforcing exercise where there just becomes more and more and more and more and more, and then suddenly full. So next issue, you can see that there's not enough plastic getting through. So having a look up here, and this is going to be a future not me problem. We can see that our plastic, whilst running fast, isn't running fast enough. So we need another plastic factory or 2 to get more plastic, to get more red circuits, you know, and then it just moves on from there. So hopefully I've shown some ways on which to do the builds properly and stick to good fundamentals and come up with good builds that are going to give you the throughput and give you the production numbers required. You can see right now we're having a bit of an issue with batteries for some reason. Oh, okay, it's just slow. So we need more battery production. That's something that will need to happen there. I don't object to the pumps at all. It's a good way of ensuring that you've got the material getting through the line. And yeah, I think with this factory, it's very close to being excellent. I would say it's good. I'd definitely say it's good. It's just a smidgen off excellent. It just needs a little bit of work here and there to really take it to that next level. And sticking with good fundamentals for some of the builds would really help in that regard. This is a really powerful little area. We can see that we've completely brought the logistics spots 180, and now we've got lots of things going on. These here, you can see how they're buffering up. This is a good thing. Okay, we have 121k in storage now. This is excellent. Okay? It means we have overhead to spare here. Same thing with the copper. You can see how these are buffering up. That's excellent. We've got 23k in storage, which means that we can now add some stuff to the central bus or beef up the bus and then just throw more copper on it in different spots. You can see that it seems to be working quite smoothly in all areas. There's no real need for an injection spot anywhere. So I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very much for joining me. This is a bit of a long episode, but I didn't want to break it into two because I felt that that would be a little bit too long to spend in here. So very good factory, very well done. I'm confident that that this is heading in the right way. It's definitely going to hit rocket defense. There's no doubt about that. So until next time, thank you very much for joining me. I'll see you around.